I heard that they were going to do this series, and I was called in to meet Robert Banks Stewart. I didn't want to do a series, you know. I thought, you know, that's the last thing I wanted to do. I was doing movies and theater, and I thought, what is this, you know? And I don't know. I met Bob, and he's as you've met him, and he was so enthusiastic about it, and it just sounded like a very original concept. So I decided to do it. It seemed to be an opportunity to play somebody kind of eccentric, and there'd always been the sort of 70s tradition of really kind of, you know, straight-looking guys doing it right on the nose and everything. And this was a sort of character who was coming from left field. He'd had a problem, you know, in his sort of workplace, and had wandered off, and he was just an eccentric individual. And I thought it was a chance to just create somebody right from, you know, scratch. So I went and got all these crumpled linens and insisted that they weren't hung up, and I didn't think he'd have a tie around his neck, you know. And I remember the first day of filming, and Robert probably, I think, will laugh when he sees this, but we were filming in a field, and I had my tie. I had this sort of thin tie, and they hadn't really checked me out, but anyway, he'd obviously got word that I was looking kind of crumpled and a bit, and he ran across the field saying, "Stop shooting, stop, don't do anything." And he had a chocolate velvet kipper tie in his hand and said, "You'll put this on." And I said, "Why?" He said, "You'll put it on and you'll do it up and you'll start." And he was so anti this sort of tie thing down here. So we had this enormous row in the middle of a field on the second day of filming Shoestring, and I say it not with necessarily pride, but I won out. She was like the person that looked after me, wasn't she? A sort of, yeah, always, "Oh, Eddie," I can remember her saying. I mean, this went out to sort of between 17 and 23 million people, which is unbelievable amount. And I can remember very clearly that the day after the first episode went out, that I walked down the street, and it was completely different. People were waving to me and smiling and talking, and I just didn't know. I was not prepared. I was not prepared. And I can remember being in a major store in London where they announced that they were going to close the store so that I could sign autographs for the staff. I think I didn't go into a store for 2 years after that. I mean, I found it really freaky. I didn't want to go in and just play one part. You know, then I was, you know, 29 years of age. I just wanted to go off and do lots of other stuff, do theater, and, you know, see what was going on. That's what interests me. I didn't want you know, I didn't have children then or anything, so it was a very different climate, very different time. He called me up and said, "You know, you stupid bugger, what are you doing? We could have done this forever." And I'm sorry, Michael. I'm really glad about the decision that I made. I don't have any regrets at all. No, I don't. You know, I can't get rid of him. Not that I want to. I'm perfectly happy for him to follow me, but he has followed me. It's stayed the course, you know. People remember it, and that's great. I'm proud of that.